Welcome back to Stable Boss on this Saturday morning. Dean Shep and Wal. How you going, Shep?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, big week. It's been a terrific week, hasn't it? Lots going on.
Sure has. Recovering from last weekend.
Yeah, and a massive day coming up today down there in Sydney. Of course, it's Epsom Day, and we've got the Premier Stakes. Jonker v Rothfire will be the Queensland battle, which will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It would be good to see how Rothfire aims up ahead of the Everest, and Jonker is just a speed machine.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of year, isn't it? And of course, a full card of racing today at Doomben. I'm going to take you back a week, though. Last weekend, a whole bunch of racing people from southeast Queensland jumped on a plane and went to Longreach for the Longreach Cup, and we've got one of them on the line right now, Lorilie Cunningham. Good morning, Lorilie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Just coming down after a wonderful weekend that we had out there. It was just fabulous.
Tell me about who went out, and because there were quite a few racing people. Peter Tyne, a few of them were out there as well, weren't they?
Yeah, Peter Tyne was on the tour. There's about 80 of us. We went off on a charter flight on Friday, and it was great because it was a really good group of people. There's a lot of people who have been racing for a long time. There are people who just love to have the occasional punt of a weekend. A lot of country people, and that's always great to be around. The people from Gladstone and Glencurry, and lots of people came in from Rocky, and the people up there really, really embraced it. So it was great.
They love their racing out there, don't they?
Oh, they love it. Absolutely love it. And I think it's a one day of the year for them up there that they just they're set upon with people from all over the place. And it was just great to see the township booming. The cafes were full. The shops where there were people in and out of the stores up there. So it was great for their boosted their economy up there, I'm sure. So we were very lucky that, of course, nothing. There were no outbreaks anywhere. I think they had one outbreak in Longreach a little while ago that sort of stopped things up. But it was great. It was almost like there was it was a COVID-free environment out there. That's what it felt like, and a life back to normal. So
the interesting thing about horse racing in those country towns is that every single country town has an old racetrack, right? And some of them still get used, and some of them don't. But you soon come to realise historically it was racing that brought people together from the properties to race their horses on the weekend, and that's how the sport started. It's quite amazing when you think about it like that. The social aspect of it.
Feel. Yeah, it really has that feel. You could just see, people coming together and people coming from afar, but also the locals there, and just the excitement and the thrill of being able to sort of showcase their track to people from all over the place, and just really, really lovely people. You get off the plane, the first thing they say is "Welcome to Longy," which I think was and you felt welcomed the whole weekend. It was great.
So one of the things for me is with the country races, it gives horses another chance of racing. If they may not have been able to make it in town, they can always have another race out in the country.
Oh, absolutely, and there was a lot of there's a lot of sort of educated punting. There's also a lot of punting by names and cheeky chops and names like that. It was just we were sitting with a couple from Rocky who just had absolutely no idea about anything and just had the best day, and kept coming back with $100 tucked under their arms and very thrilled with themselves. So it was great. It really was great.
Terrific. Now you're a bit of a late bloomer in the racing game, but you've certainly made your mark. Tell us a bit about Cunningham Thoroughbreds. How does it all work?
Well, we started off buying racehorses about 6 years ago, and we proceeded quickly sort of from there. So we focused on racing for the first few years, and then we always thought that we would like to get involved in breeding. So we bought a farm, Glastonbury from Duncan and Di Grimley about 8 months ago, I guess, and then we bought the adjacent property. So our son Mitchell, who was a cafe pilot, we got him home just before COVID, which was fortunate. So he's managing that side for us, and we bought the farm, Ridge one, in partnership with Neil Douglas and Andrew Doomben. So it's really escalated. So I guess we always started with racing with a view to go into breeding, and we spent those first few years setting ourselves up so that we could make it successful when we actually did buy the property to get into it really quickly and do it well. So we've in the process met some really high quality people, and we have we've now got a personal broodmare band of about over 20 broodmares, but there's probably at any one time there's over 100 up to 200 horses.
I was reading there was some chance meeting with Tony Gollan, and 5 minutes later he had 25 horses with him. So it's quite an incredible yarn, isn't it?
It was really, really funny. We went out, so Gary and my husband, my son and I went out to Magic Millions, I think it was 2015 maybe, and we were just having a look around the auction house and really just didn't know where to go. I was really overwhelmed by the number of horses there, and said, how do you actually even go around buying this horse? So we went to the information centre. Clint Donovan came out to speak to us, and we sat down, had a cup of coffee, and he gave us a 10-minute spiel on what we need to do. We need to get ourselves a trainer, and recommended Tony, and said, look, I'll give him a call and introduce you. And as he was doing that, I looked over, and the guy at the next table picked up the phone, and it was Tony, and that was it. Yeah, and we bought up the room the next day, and then I think it was probably 6 weeks later we bought our second, and it just kept going on and on and on and on. So, and Tony is he's our trainer for all of our racehorses in Queensland. So we love having Tony. He's a great guy and such a great trainer. So
you've landed a good one in T. Gollan, haven't you? Premiership Trainer of the Year for the last 4 years or so. Tell me about some of the racing success you've had with those horses. Name a few of these horses that we might know of.
Well, Light the Room was he was I guess we were so lucky because Light the Room was our first horse, and she was successful. We've had Night Mariner was wonderful, but got unfortunately was going to be great middle distance runner, but got injured. So he's in recovery. We've had a really lot of a lot of bad luck with injuries, but we've got a few really good ones coming up. Hardy Angel. I'm in Lady Syndicate with a couple of the horses through that Jane Gollan has put together.
Yeah.
So, and they're doing well. So we've got Liza with the Z, and we've got Moral who's coming up. But Profiteer is probably the one that we're very, very, very excited about. And he ran on Friday night, and didn't do close well as what we thought at Moonee Ponds, but there's a lot of future for Profiteer, and also Bonham is another one of our horses that we're very, very excited about.
And so as you head towards Magic Millions, you'll be heading down there with the purse open, will you? That'll be an interesting time of year.
It'll be really interesting for us because it'll be the first time that we're on both sides of it. So we will be buying and we will be selling.
Yeah.
So so it's really going to be, and I've never come at it from that side, so it's going to be quite exciting, and so it'll be great. We'll just I think the excitement of buying is amazing, but I think when you've got your emotion invest in some of these horses that go to sell, it really makes a big difference, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to sort of actually deal with it all.
I think we might have to take the cameras down and shoot that.
Follow that, yeah.
It might be all a bit too much.
We've been very lucky to sit behind the crew from Glenlogan Park Stud while they've been selling horses, and it's incredible. Like we say, it's interesting when people are buying horses, as you say, but when you're selling them, I mean, your palms are sweaty because as you say, you've got a lot of emotional and investment in the horses, but also a lot of hard work to get them to yearlings, to go to sale. But how many yearlings do you think you'll have for sale there, Lorilie?
Magic Millions. I think we're doing some at Magic Millions, some at England. So probably half and half. So I reckon maybe we might do about 10 at Magic Millions, and then we'll go on for that. But that's because it's our first year of sale. But we'll build up over.
It'll grow from there. It's your first crop.
Yeah.
How exciting! You mentioned Jane Gollan. You had a lovely event at the Brisbane Racing Club just a couple of weeks ago for well-groomed people. Tell me a bit about that, because you're obviously involved in some fundraising work there as well.
Absolutely. We look, one of the first things, apart from realising it was a big learning curve when we started off buying horses, was also I was really quite surprised by the negative reaction that you get from people when you tell them that you're a racehorse owner. And there's and I realised over the time, and knowing what goes into it, how passionate the majority of owners are, and the amazing care that these horses get while they're being trained. And they are treated like royalty, and they're the most beautiful, magnificent animals. And the majority of owners and the vast majority of owners are very passionate about their horses, and they love them. So I part of me just felt that I wanted to do something about that too, just to correct that misunderstanding and to educate people that we do want those horses to be cared for after racing, and that there is also a very there's quite a lot of retraining that goes into that. So you can't just decide one day that your horse is retiring and send it off to someone's farm and let them run around. They actually have to be retrained to be rehomed. So Jane Goblin had set up a foundation called Transitioning Thoroughbreds. So I knew that she was, she needed funds raised, and she was spending so much time with the horses. So I decided to form a group called Well Groomed, and that we would raise money for Transitioning Thoroughbreds, and going forward, other organisations that do just that. So what I did on Friday, and I partnered with BRC, and they were great in just helping me get the event off the ground. But they gave over absolute ownership to me on how I was going to do it, and how. So the committee and I, there's about 8 of us on the committee, all females, and we just we want to plan a great event where racing people could come, and also people who had never been to the track before, or people hadn't been forever, because in bringing those sort of people, we get the chance then to re-educate them and try and dissipate this negative reaction that people have to owners. So we did that. We had a fantastic time. So we're looking at probably we're going to do maybe hoping to do sort of 3 to 4 events a year, not all at the track, but as many as we can, and raise money for in the next 12 months for as much as we can for Transitioning Thoroughbreds, and educate people at the same time that that we care for our horses deeply, and we're very passionate about it.
Absolutely. So can people find out more about Well Groomed online? Have you got a website yet, or is that in progress?
Yeah, we're just setting up a website at the moment, because that was our first event. We are on Instagram.
Yep.
And Facebook, so people can follow us, and also if they want to be put on a mailing list, they can just private message us through that, because the event was fantastic, and it was such a great success, and it achieved everything we wanted it to achieve, and just the information sharing, and we want to keep doing that. So it's really important to us and the committee, so that we can make sure that we keep making sure those beautiful, racehorses are cared for post-racing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic initiative, and it's a story that needs to be told, because, as you say, many of these horses go into eventing and dressage, all sorts of things. It's not, they don't just get, they don't just wind up on a farm in a paddock somewhere. They have a lot of them have terrific lives after their racing careers.
They do.
Yeah, they
have a beautiful life, and even that sort of the choosing those horses for that. There's a lot that goes into that. Not every horse is going to be a great equestrian horse because it's temperament. So there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of people who care enough to put the time into making sure that they're in the right spot, and just make sure that they're cared for beautifully.
Good on you. Well, it's been a lovely chat. Thank you so much for your time this morning. You're busy because you've got your fingers in other pies. You've got other businesses and things going on, but certainly it sounds like racing's taking up a large part of your day these days.
Oh, it has, and we feel very grateful that that's what we're involved in, because it is a magnificent sport, and they're magnificent animals, and we're very, very blessed to have this that our whole family is involved in that we all feel very, very passionate about.
Good on you. Well, it's all about the passion, isn't it? Everybody that's in horse racing, I think, kind of shares those sentiments. They perhaps don't evoke them the way that you do. But Lorilie, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and continued success. And we look forward to seeing you at Magic Millions, buying and selling plenty.
Absolutely, and the excited mad woman running around.
Thanks very much, Lorilie Cunningham.
Okay, thanks, Craig. Bye-bye.
Right. Plenty more coming on Stable Boss on RadioTab Saturday morning. Stick around. Back with more soon. Saturday morning, RadioTab, you're listening to Stable Boss with Dean, Craig and Wally. Stable Boss is something you can subscribe to online, stableboss.com.au. Shep, what do people get when they sign up?
Oh, they get it all, mate. So every Tuesday and Friday we send out an email. It includes the tips for the weekend or on Wednesday. It also has stories, and we'll sometimes give a bonus set of tips which people can get around. So
if you'd like to subscribe to Stable Boss, it's pretty easy, stableboss.com.au. Now, something else that you may see on your social platforms is BRC TV. It was a track work Tuesday morning. Here's what went down.
Chris Munch had a large team trialling this morning at Doomben. Firstly, Rhapsody Rose back at the trials this morning. Where will we see her next?
Not sure. I thought I needed to have another look at her under trial conditions before I sort of programmed a race in. The 1200 this Saturday was probably just a little bit quick. So I haven't done much with her since the Gold Coast. She's just been hampered, I think, by big weights and bad barriers, and she hasn't been getting beat far. And the runs have been okay, but I think she's just taking a little bit longer to come to hand than what she was as a 2-year-old.
Boom Sar, one of the stable favourites, back at the trials today. Will he trial again, or will you find a race for him?
I think he'll trial again. He's pretty big, he's getting a bit older, and he's another horse that's probably taken a little bit longer to come to hand, but he enjoyed his day out this morning. He had his ears pricked and did it all pretty well within himself, and he's not a noted track worker or barrier trial horse, so probably his effort this morning was quite good.
Southern Stock was very impressive, winning at Eagle Farm last start, beaten this morning by Bedini's Girl in his trial. What did you make of both horses?
Well, he was just having a maintenance gallop. Obviously the 1,000 metres was way too short for him, but Larry Cassidy was happy with how he was able to travel in the trial quite strong for 1,000 metres, and I made sure, I said to Larry to make him gallop out past the winning post another furlong on, which he did. So that'll just tighten him up nicely. It's for an 1,800 metre race on Saturday week against the 3-year-olds. And Bedini's Girl, I'm not sure where she'll go. She's just starting her prep off, so we'll probably just target a few races over the summer, but I would probably just kick off in a few of the lesser races just to get a win under her belt and get a bit of confidence into her.
Paul Butterworth, you must have been very pleased with No Magic in the Paddock Show plate on Saturday.
Yeah, terrific effort. Filly that we sort of had ready about 8 weeks ago. Very mature young horse. I've never had one that's been up and going so early. She looks like a 4-year-old mare, and sort of had to tread water. Coming out of her first trial, she was a bit muscle sore. But come through the second one well, and we knew she was going to be really competitive there on Saturday.
So what are her plans going forward?
She's in the paddock now. We'll bring her back at a shot for the Magic Millions, so we'll go through the summer carnival. Whether she's sharp enough to win a Millions is questionable. I think she might be more a 1,400 miler in the winter, maybe a JJ Atkins, hopefully. We can aim for that, but we'll give her an opportunity for Magic Millions. If she improves and we keep her nice and fresh, well, you never know, she's tough.
And this morning at the Doomben Trials, our Red Planet was very impressive.
He's a lovely horse. He's, I'd say he's clearly the best horse in my stable. Got big plans for him, so hopefully we see him in the 3-year-old Magic Millions, all going well. Program is tricky, I need some prize money, so I just got to try and plot my way through to the summer, and I want to give him another short break, so we just got to work out what we're going to do with him.
Being a rather small stable, must be lot to look forward to with a 2-year-old chance at the Magic Millions and a 3-year-old chance.
Absolutely, and not only her, I've got a couple of others there that are probably similar ability to her, so fingers crossed they can stay sound and we can have a really positive start to the season.
Saturday morning, RadioTab, you're listening to Stable Boss. Welcome back to Stable Boss, Saturday morning, RadioTab. Thanks for joining us. Big day of racing in Sydney today, of course, Epsom Day, and they're racing at Doomben. Big card of racing coming up here in the southeast. Okay, time to get to our feature interview of this week's edition of Stable Boss. Over to you, Shep.
On stableboss.com.au on Wednesday, we broke the news that history was created at Ipswich when 2 full siblings won on the same card. It's quite an achievement, wasn't it, Wally?
Yeah, it was a special feat. Same sire, same dam, same trainer for both horses, and of course the same syndicator.
the great Baylee Nothdurft rode both of these horses. Baylee, special day there on Wednesday. What did it mean to you?
Yeah, no, it was a special day for sort of the connections. Probably meant more for the breeders and things like that than it did sort of for me on the breeding side of them. But they're both horses that I ride work every day, so it was really good to get the win on both of them.
I believe they got some interesting stable names. Would you be able to let us know what those stable names are?
Yeah, well, Better Get Set. She's pretty simple. She's Betty, and That Feels Better's nickname's Jerry. So, sort of, he got his nickname. He's a bit of a goose, so they just called him Jerry.
Were you aware of it or not?
Yeah, I know. Obviously, riding them every day, I knew that That Feels Better was Better Get Set's younger brother. So, I was aware that they were full siblings, and no, it was good to win on both of them.
Looking towards the future of both horses, you think they got a bit of a bright future?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Better Get Set was sort of very well placed on Wednesday. She had to carry a bit of weight, but obviously just trying to get her winning again, and she got that done. So she'll go back to Saturday Town racing, and she'll be hard to beat in the right sort of race again. And That Feels Better is a horse that I've really liked from the get-go. His first ever sort of trial, he sort of ran up behind Miss Hipster under a hold. So we've always had a very good rap on him, and it was good to see him get the job done first up from a break.
Now, if we look back to the Tuesday morning trials at Doomben, there was two very eye-catching 2-year-olds that both for the O'Day hoisted yard, Plazo Spirit and Merrily. Where do you have those two 2-year-olds lined up at the moment? How well do you reckon they can go?
Yeah, obviously two very nice horses. They've both come up early and look like they'll run early, and they've both got a bit of scope to sort of be able to keep improving on what they're already doing. Merrily's a very fast filly. She's out of a mare that I think Denny O'Brien trained, and she was very fast as well. So Merrily's obviously a real high-speed sort of horse. She's got really good speed out of the barriers and can take up a handy spot, which is always a positive in the 2-year-old races early in the season. If they can sort of be in front of more than they are behind, that's a big advantage for them. And Palazzo Spirit, he's a really nice colt. He's not really one-dimensional at all. His first trial, he sort of sat in the 1-1 and ran up straight under a hold, and the other day we sort of gave him a squeeze out, and he led the field up and done it easy as well. So two very nice horses, and when they go to the races, they're going to be very competitive.
And I believe probably there's another good 2-year-old that's in the paddock at the moment, a Deep Fields filly.
Yeah, there's a Deep Field Intensity filly. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, mate, I should probably say that I've got an interest in that horse. That's why I've asked.
yeah, she's nice. She's only had a dirt jump out so far, but she jumped out quite well her first time. So she's probably more of a sort of later sort of 2-year-old sort of horse. She's quite tall, rangy sort of filly, so she goes quite nice as well, and it'll be good when she comes back. She would have grown and filled out a bit more. So, she's really nice.
Yeah, and away from the track, mate, you've got an interest in greyhounds. I believe you've got a couple puppies. How are they?
Yeah, I've got one racing up in Rockhampton at the moment. He was down here. He sort of went up there just for the easier grade. He wasn't much good, but he's doing a good job up there. And I've got two cooked on Scotch pups at the moment. They're just puppies at the moment. They haven't even got broken in yet, but they're at Nathan Evans' place. And, they're really nice. They're from a good family, so hopefully they can get up and get running as well.
Another horse from the O'Day hoisted yard that you linked up with this preparation was Shooting for Gold. I believe he headed out for a spell. Is he back in work?
Yeah, so he's been back in work, I think, back in at Eagle Farm for 2 weeks. He did a bit of pre-training out at Calora Lodge before he come back in, but he looks really good at the moment. I don't ride him that much in his slow work, but he looks really good. His coat's shining, and he put on a bit of weight and strengthened up again. So obviously a really nice horse, and won his last start was his first go at Open Company, and he won easy. So nice horse, and he's going to be a good horse to team up with over the summer, that's for sure.
Is he on target for the Magic Millions Carnival?
Yeah, he is. He's I think there's two listed races here in Brisbane. I think before sort of the Magic Millions Carnival starts up, I think he's going to the sprint race there. So all going well. He should get his rating up and sort of be really competitive in the first two listed races back, and then head on to the Magic Millions.
Okay, Shep. Well, one segment remains on the show for this Saturday morning, and that's the money segment. How do you think we'll go? Have you got a couple in the bag for us today?
Oh, I've got some good stuff today.
All right, okay. Stay with us. Shep's tips coming up. Stable Boss on RadioTab. Welcome back to Stable Boss on RadioTab. Craig Shepherd, Dean Miller, Wally's here as well. Now, Shep, last week, Toowoomba. I mean, we always knew it was going to be tough, but what were you saying to me earlier in the week? You said after the result of the first race, what was it?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a bad day. First best bet came up in race one, and I just got backed into about $1.60, I think, and just tailed off last. I knew the day was going to go bad then.
What is it about Toowoomba? What makes it so difficult, that track to tip?
I have no idea. Like, sometimes you can go really well, and other times it's just terrible.
Yeah, well, it was pretty terrible last week, but congratulations to Desley and Jimmy Byrne. That was a tremendous ride on Apache Chase to take out the Wheatwood.
Yeah, it was great to see, and now there's talk of it going to the Golden Eagle, so we'll be behind that one.
Very, very exciting. All right, okay, stand back, everybody. Here they come. Doomben's card, and Shep, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dino. I think we can get a winner in the second race on the card today. Rebel Salute, number 2. Just loves the wet. The wetter, the better. I think great form this campaign. He's had 2 seconds and a first, and that win at Doomben on that heavy track was something else. I think he'll be winning.
What's your second tip for us, Shep?
We'll go to the tail end of the card, race 8, number 2, Tambo's Mate. He's on the quick back up after running fourth in the Wheatwood. I thought it was a fair run.
Cost us both. I thought he was going to win there.
Yeah, he
straight.
Popped his head through. But, I think he's on the quick backup, as I said, and when he's been on that in the past, he's won both races. I think the key to him is a wet track, at least soft anyway, so I think he'll be running on at good odds.
He goes lengths on the soft tracks.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
And what's our final tip, Shep? Get us home with a winner.
Yeah, we'll go to the Get Out Stakes again. Hopefully we don't need it, but it'd be nice to get. Enterprise Pom, number 2. She returns from Sydney. It was an absolute awesome run in the Furious Stakes, I thought. Raced on the speed, and it's only just sort of run down the last 100. I think that sort of form, back in Brisbane, she'll be hard to beat.
I believe they're going to run this horse last weekend down in Sydney and scratch for this race, which even gives you more confidence. The $3 quote for that horse is pretty generous.
I think that's nice, eh?
Well, good luck to everybody having a bet today at Doomben. I'm really looking forward to the Jonker Rothfire battle down there in Sydney today. That's going to be pretty interesting in the Premier Stakes.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I don't know how it'll go, actually.
Well, of course, the Epsom's on today as well. Good luck today. If you're following Shep's tips at Doomben, stableboss.com.au is where you'll find all of the tips for today's card and plenty more about racing. I hope you have a great day today, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for joining us on Stable Boss on RadioTab.